Hello my lovely book besties. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and spending a few minutes of your time with me. As you can already see from the title, in this video we are going book shopping together. I love book shopping, don't we all? I have traveled a lot and been to a lot of Barnes & Noble in a bunch of different states. There's two currently near me. One of them is quite small, but where it lacks in size, it makes up for in how incredibly gorgeous it is. While trying to decide which Barnes I want to go to today, I don't have a ton of time. I only have like maybe an hour to spend in the store. So I figured let's do the small one and I can show you guys how gorgeous this store is, and we will save the big store for another book shopping video because I haven't even gone yet. I always end up just going to this really pretty one. Before we head out though, there is a specific book I'm looking for. Then obviously I'm just gonna peruse, but I also did something fun where I asked on Instagram to just do like a random poll and I gave a couple of prompts. Basically Instagram is going to pick a book for me to buy. I just thought that it would be a really fun twist on book shopping. So my first question was a genre. So fantasy, romance, or mystery and thriller. And let's see which one won. Fantasy won. Okay, I couldn't be happier about that because your girl loves some fantasy. Probably ultimately my favorite genre. So way to go Instagram. We're gonna go into the fantasy section. So once we are in the fantasy section, I asked if I'm going to turn right or left. Now this store is pretty small, so I think that it's just gonna be like one giant shelf and not like a huge section like some Barnes have. So when I get to the section, I'm either going to look right or left and kind of focus on like that side of the shelf. Let's see. They said right. So when I get to the fantasy area, I have to choose something off of the right side of the shelves. And then I asked for a color and I just gave like a few options of color, and I have to pick a book that is that color or at least has that color on the cover somewhere. And purple won. I feel like there's a good amount of purple fantasy covers. So I did also ask everyone to drop a letter because that's my backup plan, is if I just cannot find a purple book, I have to find one with the author or title that contains this letter. It looks like it would have to be the letter J. That's just the backup plan if there's literally no options for the color purple. But otherwise, I'm just perusing. I'm gonna take you guys with me and I hope that you enjoy this gorgeous Barnes & Noble. I can literally never get over how beautiful this store is. Don't come at me guys, but Beach Read is the best Emily Henry book. Also really interested in this one. My babies. I love these books so much. Literally never read classics, but they're always so beautiful. Love this book. I see lots of books I've read and lots I need to read. I have never seen this cover before. I think that I just might need it. I also really love these new covers. That is a great historical fiction. Read this one and this one and this one. I've read this one and this one. Oh, and that one. So it turns out they had a science fiction fantasy section separate from the young adult section. So I went with young adult fantasy because it's kind of all mixed. I came over here to this section and looked right as Instagram suggested. Got distracted by this book. Here's a purple cover. I couldn't decide, so I decided to just look around the store a little bit more and come back to it. Another purple cover, but it turns out it's book 2. I went over to the fantasy to just peek if they have any purple covers, and I was not feeling any of these books. I love their little kids section because this train is adorable. And here is the book I came for. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. All right, back to this section. Let's see if I can find a purple fantasy. Maybe Cinder. We're back. We got the goods. That was so stressful because it's Sunday, and normally as a homeschool family, I try to get out and run errands and go places during the week when there will be less people around. So I felt really thrown off because it was very crowded. Plus, as you saw, it's a small store, so it's not like there's corners and cubbies I could just hide behind and film. So I felt extremely awkward. I digress. I had such a successful trip. All we got is fantasy, but that is entirely okay with me and in completely the mood that I'm in. So I'm really, really excited about the books that we ended up with. I got 4 books. I only went for 1, and then Instagram was picking 1, so I thought I'd leave with 2. I left with 4. It happens. So the book that I went for is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. I just this month finished Abridged Kingdom and really, really liked it. I've heard nothing but good things about this new one. It is so gorgeous. I couldn't believe how beautiful with these sprayed, like metallic looking blue edges. I genuinely have no idea the plot on this book. I don't even think that I looked it up, which is so standard for me. But it says, Freya is bound in an unwanted marriage. She spends her days gutting fish but dreams of becoming a warrior and of putting an axe in her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become reality when her husband betrays her to the regent's Jarl, landing her in a fight to the death against his son. To survive, she's forced to reveal her deepest secret, that she possesses a drop of a goddess's blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling attacks. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight and learn to control her magic, but the greatest test of all will be resisting her forbidden attraction to Bjorn. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her destiny, but the fate of all the people she has sworn to protect. It sounds really good, and again, I've heard nothing but rave reviews for this one. I'm ecstatic to have this and to try this. And then you probably picked up from the video that I ended up getting Cinder for the Instagram pic. This was really, really hard. I went back to the section a couple of times and just was like on Goodreads checking synopses because I didn't want to just spend money on any book. I have recently read Renegades and really liked it, which is also by Marissa Meyer. I'm currently reading Arch Enemies by her and enjoying it. And I've had this book on my TBR for literally years and years. People are always telling me to try it. So I was like, you know what? It's purple, it's fantasy, and I do love this cover. I think that I will really enjoy this book. It's kind of like a sci-fi retelling of Cinderella, and then the rest of the series is like Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Winter, and they're all retellings, which is honestly not typically my thing, but this is another book that I've just heard nothing but great things about for forever. So I'm finally going to try it. So thank you, Instagram, for leading me to this book. And then I got The Traitor Queen, which is the second book after The Bridge Kingdom. After I finished Bridge Kingdom, the way that it ends, I immediately knew I needed to grab this book. I saw it at the store and figured I'd grab it. I'm not going to tell you much about what this one's about because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't read Bridge Kingdom, but just know that I highly recommend. And if you love it, this would be the second book in the series. And the last book that I got, I actually have not heard the best reviews for it. I think I'm seeing a lot of people either really liking it or kind of being like, that was a flop, definitely not very good. But the synopsis on this one just speaks my language, so I'm going to try it. I've never tried this author before, but like I said, I just really love the idea of this book, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Basically, it is like vampire meets werewolf. Misery is the daughter of a powerful vampire councilman. She has been called upon to uphold an alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemies, the Wares. The Wares Alpha, Lo, he rules his pack with absolute authority, and it's clear from the way that he tracks Misery's movements that he doesn't trust her. Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience, reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to get back what's hers. Vampires and werewolves. Can someone say Twilight? This sounds extremely different from Twilight, but as an original Twilight fan, vampires and werewolves say less. I'm already sold. I will read it. So that is a wrap on this video. Thank you again so much for coming along book shopping with me and for watching this video. If you have read any of these books and loved them, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Just say hey, just drop a book stack emoji. Let me know you were here. If you enjoyed this video and you have not subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around. I hope that your books are amazing, and I will see you guys in the next video.